Hey everyone, I'm Timmy Scott, and if you're new here, welcome. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, I want to talk about, again, what it was like being a Jehovah's Witness, living in that sheltered environment. And then, also, I want to talk about special education and what it was like being in that as well on top of everything. So, disclaimer, side note, I don't want people to feel sympathy for me. I don't want them to feel bad for me. That's not the case of this video, but I do want to get people to understand what it was like, the places that I had seen and the experiences and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses out there, again, as I mentioned, that have gone through the same thing I went through, sorta, for the most aspect of it. Anyway, I lived a really sheltered environment as a Jehovah's Witness growing up. Not really being able to see a lot of the stuff that they talk about. I mean, I knew it was force-fed lies that they were giving to their followers, but I couldn't quite figure it out. And now, being on my own, as I mentioned, for a little better than 5 years, that I can see a lot of stuff that, unfortunately, a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses don't see. That they're mind-controlled. That they're being mind-controlled. And it's like when I looked this up. It's like having a gun to the head, basically. But in a metaphorical sense. Being told to believe this, otherwise God will disown you. I don't see how that's loving at all. That's not love, that's hate. And I've addressed that before. Anyway, I was also, unfortunately, in special education. I hated it. I hated being in special ed. That was one of the worst 5 years of my life. Being in a place where already being bombarded with negativity, living in an environment where where negativity is constantly being put out. And I wanted no part of it, but I had no choice. And also, it's like that in special education. The area that I was in didn't care at all about what I went through and stuff like that. They only had ulterior motives, which is all about the money. All they cared about was money. They didn't care what I went through and stuff like that. So again, being in a sheltered environment like that really took a toll on my mental and physical health and emotional being. And a lot of my ex-Jehovah's Witness friends who are watching this will confirm that, what it's like, what being in a cult like that will do to you. So, I watched a show today that Steve Wilkos had put out, and I have a steel trap mind, so regardless, good or bad, that's told to me, I'll remember it, unfortunately, depending on the situation. Anyway, he left a good valid point. If you love someone, you wouldn't hurt them. And unfortunately, it's like that for Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't realize the damage they do to their loved ones. That they're told that they have to do this, otherwise that they're told to shun their loved ones just because their loved ones believe in something else, that they have to shun them, or even, again, the smallest of sin, that they have to shun them. Jehovah's Witnesses are like this. When I was in special education, they were like this. That you're not going to amount to anything. As long as you do what we're told, you're not going to amount to anything. I don't see how that helps in a daily life. If I had a family, if I created a family of my own, if my kids wanted to become something different, as long as it was safe, and it wasn't going to harm them or the people around them, even an emotional level, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if a person is gay or pagan or something else, what they wanted to be, or Buddhist. If they wanted to be that, they shouldn't shun them just because they're told to do that. It's kind of an unfortunate state of nature, I guess, that they're willing to go out of their way to have an excessive amount of mind control. There's a website that I'm hoping I can leave a link in the description, and for the Jehovah's Witnesses that are watching this, or anyone that isn't, it'll help clarify what I mean by mind control and having a gun to your head. Again, I just wish I could shed at least some light on some Jehovah's Witnesses, that if they're willing to leave the cult, willing to realize that they're hurting their loved ones because of what they're told to do. They have to do it because that's what they're told to do. And I mentioned this before about shunning. Just because of the smallest of sin they commit, or because they want to have a different belief, they have to leave their family behind. I don't see how that's fair. But that's part of the mind control, unfortunately. That's how it works. You're supposed to shun your loved ones no matter what belief they have. Or because they do stuff for themselves and they have to be shunned for it. It's unfortunate that cults are like that just because you believe in something else, you're disowned. I like believing in what I believe. And the only reason Jehovah's Witnesses tell the outside world they don't shun people is because they're told to do that. But then when you're heavily a Jehovah's Witness and you decide to leave, then they shun you. And again, Jehovah's Witnesses are a scam. That's not what love is. God doesn't shun people just because they have their own beliefs. That's not what love is. God shouldn't be this evil entity that are fear tactics used against you just because you want to believe in something else or whatever you want. Or if you want higher education or doing something else because you want to. That's an excuse for them to, again, take your money. Again, they're scam artists. That's their whole plot. That's their whole ploy, is to scam people. God is love. God should be about accepting people for who they are. That's what He is. That's what He should be. That's what Jesus is. That's what God's Son Jesus is someone who accepts someone for who they are. God is love. God should be love to anyone who believes in Him. That's what I've tried to train myself to believe, that God isn't a bad entity out there, or whatever you believe. God isn't an angry, fear-tactical entity. That's what it shouldn't be about, is putting fear into someone's mind to believe it. And again, if you stuck around long enough, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to leave a link in the description of what mind control and brainwashing are. And for the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses watching this, will probably most likely check it out. It's unfortunate, again, the situation I was given, where not only Jehovah's Witnesses, that of a sheltered environment that I was in, and special education, didn't think I was going to amount to anything. That's what they're brainwashed to believe. At least the area that I was born and raised in, like that, told me. And again, I don't want people to feel sorry for me, but I just want to explain it to them what I went through and what I want the outsiders to get to understand. I've been an outsider myself now, and I try to see things as from a different perspective, a different concept now, looking at all the wrong things Jehovah's Witnesses are doing, And there's unfortunately a lot of negative traits. If you put out negativity, you're going to get negativity back to you. That's the unfortunate reality of it. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're putting out constant negativity, telling people that they're going to die at Armageddon if they don't convert to their religion, and you put out negativity, you're going to get negativity back. That's how I view it. I used to go door to door a lot, unfortunately, growing up. That was one of the worst things I hated about being a Jehovah's Witness, is going door to door, lying to people, telling them that they'll live forever in paradise as long as they convert to them, as long as they convert to being a Jehovah's Witness. But deep down in my mind, I knew that's not what God is. It took me a while to forgive the things they've done and how they act, because they don't have the right ulterior motives. They don't understand how much mind control they have. So, that's just what I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. I don't mean to make it sound like a hefty topic, but that's just what I went through. And this kind of topic I just wanted to put out to people, that you don't need to live by occult rules. God isn't hateful. He isn't a hateful fear tactic. He isn't a hateful entity. He is love. God is supposed to be love. You're supposed to love yourself as well on top of it. If you don't love yourself, how the hell can you love others? That's what I've learned lately, is if you can't love yourself, how can you love others? Just like along the lines of, if you love someone, you shouldn't hurt them. Regardless if it's emotional or physical or whatever, you shouldn't hurt someone if you love them. And that's what, unfortunately, Jehovah's Witnesses do. They hurt the ones they love. Unfortunately, they don't realize that. That's just what I wanted to leave. And like I said again, I'm going to leave a link in the description, and I know there's going to be Jehovah's Witnesses that are going to see this video, that are going to be curious to learn about mind control and brainwashing. I know you all know this, but I just want to leave it anyway. It's good information for you to, I guess, grasp a little better. Anyway, that's just my thought on my video today, what I wanted to share with you. So, if you like this video, leave a like, share it around with your friends on social media, hit that red subscribe button down below, turn on post notifications so you never miss a post like this. Your likes really do help, and watching till the end also helps. Anyway, with that being said, again, I'm going to leave a link in the description for better information about what I just talked about. Leave a comment. Seriously, if you're an ex-Jehovah's watching this, or if you're a Jehovah's Witness planning on leaving, this video will help. Hopefully. I think it will. If not, well, there's other ex-Jehovah's Witness videos out there. Anyway, a YouTuber's rant. I'm a YouTuber trying. Anyway, trying to be a little fun. Anyway, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.